Oh, I just had the well, this is the last Flashback Monday with the tree. The tree goes by later. Bye bye, tree. We miss you. It's been great. Um, so this is Flashback Monday. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kairos, Tina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects going on here, no theme music, none of that fancy smashy stuff. My thumbnails are not very eye-catching, so if you could please spread the word that I exist. I try my best. I spend most of my time reading and talking about books. I'm not very creative in the thumbnail thing. I'm not one of those people that makes false titles. So I'm talking about the book, so I'm gonna put the book title as my title. You know, I'm talking about this particular book, but what can you do? I'm not one of those, I'm not creative. So we are up to October 2012 for Flashback Monday. All of these authors are still available today. Most of them are still writing today. Sometimes you'll catch the beginning of a series in here. You'll catch them at the beginning of their career in here. It's really, really, really good magazine. So if you could please hang out, you may find some new mysteries, some new Regencies, some new sci-fis, some new paranormals, contemporary romance. You'll have some here. My buddy here, he doesn't show up very well. I did it the other day, and I stuck him in light, and it was so pretty. Just the direct sunlight, if you can catch him in a good stream, he lights up good. But I still think the tree should be green and not silver. But anyways. Hello, gal pal. Alright, so we have quite a few books to get to today. And believe it or not, this video will take about 15 to 20 hours to upload. I thought I was upgrading my speed when I went through a whole big thing. And apparently I uploaded my download speed, not my upload speed. Although my download speed hasn't improved at all. But my upload speed ranges anywhere from 3. Sometimes it goes as high as 10, but mostly 3 or 4. And that's why it takes me hours upon hours to upload. So let's get to this. At count right now, there are 65 books, but there's a couple that I know I'll add as I go through. So, our first book. Look at all those Regencies. You see anybody else doing this many books? There's 292 in this. So what happened to... Oh, there's... Okay. So, Beatrice Small, Bianca. 4.5 stars. Leaving the Scottish border behind, Small heads to both new Renaissance Italy and familiar the Middle East territory in a lush and highly sensual tale, the first of a silk merchant's daughters quartet, large in scope and heated, even sizzling with passion. 50 Shades has nothing on Small. As the eldest daughter of wealthy Florentine silk merchant, Bianca knows she will make an advantageous marriage, but when her father must relent to blackmail, Bianca is given to a sadistic Sebastian Rovove as his bride. Bianca uses her wits and wiles to satisfy Sebastian's sexual appetites and penchant for punishment. She escapes her husband by hiding in a convent and then secretly traveling to a little-known family villa on the sea. There, Bianca encounters an intriguing stranger, Prince Amir, the grandson of Mehmet the Conqueror. After the murder of her husband, Bianca is free to love him fully. However, Amir is a Turk, an infidel, and her mother will never sanction their marriage. See what happens. If you have not checked out my Beatrice Small, Sky O'Malley series, please go check those out. Those are really excellent books. I love Sky O'Malley. And I always say that Claire Beecham Randall Fraser doesn't compare to Sky O'Malley and all the stuff that Sky O'Malley went through. Some of Claire's stuff was rougher, although Sky was that too. So, Claire had more husbands, and not her husband. Sky had more husbands and went through more stuff and had more children. Sky has 5 or 6 kids. And please go check all that. And she has to deal with the queen, and she's always doing the queen's bidding and a whole bunch of stuff. So Guy's life was much rougher than Claire's. Much, much rougher. And of course it was 200 years before Claire. So see what happens there. So Lord of Temptation. Lorraine Heath. 4.5 stars. Heath is a consummate storyteller whose characters leap from the pages. Their powerful emotions and intense passion translate exceptionally well to readers, allowing them to become deeply involved in fascinating plot and leaving them breathless and wanting more. Since the long ago night that he was separated from his brothers, Lord Tristan Easton has remained alone, not knowing his brothers have reclaimed their family titles and estates. He has roamed the high seas as Jack Crimson. Lady Hayworth knows that her fiancé died in the Crimea, but she needs to see where he is buried. Before she moves on with her life, she hires Captain Crimson to take her there. During the journey, Jack learns her secrets and she discovers the joy of temptation. Annie believes they will never meet again, but then she is introduced to Lord Tristan and her world tumbles down. Yeah, this might be a good one for my thing I was going to do. Another one of my authors. Rules to Catch a Devilish Duke. Susan Enoch. 4.5 stars. Known for her emotionally intense and powerfully written romance, Enoch returns with another scandalous bride that's sure to satisfy fans of the Tarantulas Club's novels. Adam Baswick, Duke of Greaves, must marry by his fast-approaching 30th birthday or lose his fortune. Finding a potential wife at his Christmas party is part of the plan, but in becoming enchanted with his house guest is not. Sophia White, who works at the Tantalus Club, knows she can never aspire to the life of a duchess. But what harm is there in accepting the Duke's invitation before she agrees to marry a somber clergyman? Due to a freak snowstorm, Sophia is Adam's only guest. As they get to know one another, they learn each other's secrets. See. I always do this wrong. There she is. Hi. Always do that wrong. My Scandalous Viscount. Gayla Foley. Four and a half stars. For the Inferno series, Foley has created a cast of characters readers adore and plot lines that captivate with lots of passion, danger, emotional intensity, and romantic adventures. Readers won't be able to resist these gems of the genre in the latest edition. Lady Carissa Portland does not consider herself a snoop. She is a lady of information. She quickly learns eavesdroppers must beware. When she overhears a bit of news and tries to rescue Viscount Beauchamp from a scandal, when Beauchamp realizes Carissa is poking around, he defers to his rakeshow reputation and steals a kiss, which places them in a compromising situation. He may be a notorious rogue, but he'll do the honorable thing and marry her. Carissa can't deny her attraction. However, she discovers the truth about the Inferno Club and that Beau is caught in it. And if you have not seen my Sinster, my Bridgerton versus Sinster, if then way back when, and I also did a Stephanie Lawrence one. If you have to. Their Sinsters are much better than the Bridgertons. Much. 10, 20 times better. You start with the 9 Sinsters, the brothers, oh, actually the cousins, they're cousins. And you start with Devil, and then it's like Scandal and Gabriel and Lucifer and the other guys, and then the 2 girls, Wicked Dawn and Wicked Night, something like that. And then you go on to the Bastion Club and the Black Cobra Quartet and the Buccaneers, and your minor characters, your major characters in the early books become minor characters in the future books, and minor characters that were minor characters are now major characters in future books. So you know everybody in the society. You get to know all the people. You get to catch up on their lives as the series progresses. It's a really good series. So this is not a sinister book. Sinster. Lawrence takes a break from her Sinsters to reacquaint readers with Neville Roscoe, first seen in The Edge of Desire. The masterful, eloquent storyteller takes time to build the background and the character's motivation as she weaves an enchanting story of very proper miss and London's notorious gambling king. When Miranda Collins' brother Roderick goes missing, she turns to the one man she shouldn't trust, Neville Roscoe, king of London's gambling gardens. But Miranda knows to never judge a book by its cover. Roscoe quickly learns Miranda is determined to be a part of the hunt for her brother. After she follows him to a dangerous side of town, their quest leads Roscoe, bringing Miranda into the deepest secrets of his life. He takes her to his family home and reveals he is Lord Gillian, a duke. Ooh. The Trouble with Highlanders. Oh, those Highlanders. If you have not seen my If Then based on Highlanders, please check it out. While understanding of the Highlands is fantastic and the skillful shares this with readers through her well-developed characters, her dialogue and the descriptions that propel the story. Her alpha hero is a man who is hard yet gentle, tamed by a strong-willed heroine. Daphne MacLeod gave herself to Nora Sutherland so her betrothed would renounce her and wed another. When Nora shows up on her doorstep, Daphne doesn't know whether to be happy or angry. Norris wants her back in his bed and will do whatever he can to convince her. Ooh. Maya Banks. I went up there and stared at my books and stared at my books, and I was like, it's not here. I can't find it. I think I have all the other ones. Why don't I have this one? Never seduce a Scot. 4 stars. The first volume in Banks' new trilogy combines an unusual plot, medieval history, and believable and interesting characters, with a classic clan rivalry. Lady Evelyn Armstrong, the Lord's only child, suffered an accident that left her deaf. An accomplished lip reader, she pretends to be mute as well, in hopes that this will protect her from an unwanted marriage. Then the king orders her to wed Graham Montgomery to end an ancient feud. Evelyn attempts to learn the skills needed to be a laird's wife, and Graham develops a deep respect and affection for her based on her willingness to do any task put before her. Okay. Um, Vanessa Kelly, Mistletoe Brook. 4 stars. Kelly pairs an aristocratic farmer military officer with a young American Quaker in this emotionally intense and beautifully crafted novel. Phoebe Linville embarks on a journey to be united with the grandfather she never met. She arrives in London to have Major Lucas Stanton tell her of her grandfather's death. Phoebe decides to stay in London with relatives as her grandfather's wish that she marry Lucas. That's out of the question. New Lord Lucas is a formidable man, but Phoebe begins enjoying his company and sees her quick wit. Caught in a compromising situation, they marry and leave for Mistletoe Manor. Aww. So why didn't I? I bet we did it in the last. That's why. Okay. All right. If you have not seen my videos on this lady, please check them out. The McKettricks and the Creeds. An Outlaw's Christmas, Linda Lale Miller. Each year, Miller gifts readers with a warm and touching McKettrick story, celebrating family, friends, and the miracle of the season. Her latest holiday story shines with compassion and the belief in the inherent kindness of man. This is a McKettrick? Cool beans. Unwilling to settle down on the family ranch, Sawyer McKettrick heads for Blue River, Texas, to become the town marshal. When he's injured during a snowstorm and collapses near the schoolhouse, prim teacher Piper St. James brings him inside. Though having a bare-chested man in her house could ruin her reputation, she cannot leave him to die. Waiting out the storm, the proper lady and outlaw form a friendship and has Piper dreaming of marriage and children. See how that goes. Vicky Drilling. No. Sin. A season for sin. I like the purple. Um, this little novella introduces Drilling's next novel, What a Wicked Earl Wants, by presenting the background motivation for her characters. Readers will fully comprehend the whys and wherefores of the hero and heroine actions before the full novel begins. Okay. In need of a good wife. Kelly O'Connor McKees, 4.5 stars. McKees has the knack for wonderful historical fiction readers will not be able to put down until they turn the last page. The Wild West has a rough place to live. It took courage, guts, and believable strength to survive the elements. Claire Bixby thinks becoming a mail order bride broker is just what she needs to heal and to help other women who want to start a new life. Elsa, as an older woman, wants more than washing other people's clothes for the rest of her life. She knows she may not find a husband, but she may just find something she's not even aware she's looking for. love, maybe? I need to do that other one. Okay. And Catherine Mackenzie. Forgotten. 4 stars. This novel has such a refreshing take on your typical coming of age story. The characters are insightful and the dry humor is reminiscent of what you'll find in a TV drama. From start to finish, readers will feel like they are on a reluctant journey with someone who didn't set out to change her life. Fulfilling her mother's dying wish, Emma Tupper takes what is originally intended to be a month-long trip to Africa. After 6 months later, she returns home to find she has no job, no apartment, and everyone thought she was dead. She decided to get back the life she lost with the help of her friends Stephanie and Dominic Mahoney, the man who now lives in her apartment. Finding it more than difficult to get back into the swing of things, Emma must decide if the life she once had is something she wants now. Yes, ma'am. Um, Lola's Secret. Monica McIlney. For those who enjoy McIlney's The Alphabet Sisters and anyone who enjoys a heartwarming read, comes a sequel that will ignite curiosity with a quirky characters and intricate plot. With more spirit than Betty White and a wardrobe as colorful as Lady Gaga's, 84-year-old Lola Quinn is up to her usual mischief, encouraging her large extended family to go away for Christmas. Lola plans on enjoying some time alone at the family-run motel where she lives, or so she claims. Instead, a surprising tech-savvy Lola has posted an ad online that will bring in 7 strangers, all with secrets of their own. So to Lola, it seems though this Christmas must be simple and relaxing, but nothing is ever as it seems. The Shadowy Horses, Susanna Kisley. This poetic novel will seduce readers with its beautiful prose and lush, vivid descriptions of the Scotland shore. Archaeologist Verity Gray is thrilled to participate in the excavations of a site on Scottish shores that once housed Roman soldiers. Shortly after being hired by the intelligent and slightly eccentric Peter Cornell, she learns that her excavation team is not so much searching for artifacts and remnants of Roman campsite, but more specifically the Roman ghosts themselves who supported the haunt site. Hmm. How's it going there, ma'am? Okay. And The Last Dragon Slayer. Doesn't look like a dragon to me, it looks like a Volkswagen. Unless it's sitting on top of a dragon. It could be that. 4.5 stars. Popular adult author Ford tries his hand at young adult with smashing success. This adorable novel has a well-articulate message that was sure to resonate. The British humor will appeal to J.K. Rowling's hungry fan base. Orphan foundling Jennifer Strange has a great deal of responsibility in her indentured servitude under the renowned wizard, the great Zambini, taking on hopefully temporary leadership of his home for wizards. No easy task. Magical power is fading, and once useful wizards are displaced in favor of simpler, non magical solutions. What happens? Death and the Girl Next Door. Dorinda Jones. Her Death series started out really, really good. And then it took a turn for the deep end, and it just. I still have them all, and they'll be back up there. No, I changed them. They're back down there. But they're number 2. The books are like 1. But she starts out good seeing dead people and solving mysteries, and then she takes this left turn, and it destroys the whole series. Thought did I forgot one. I forgot one. Beauty and the Beast. Laurie Austin. Beauty and the Bounty Hunter, excuse me. Laurie Handelin writing as Austin begins as Once Upon a Time in the West series with a bang, immediately engaging readers in the fast-paced plot. So this is Laurie Handelin. So why didn't she write herself as Laurie Handelin? Kathleen Chase wouldn't hurt a fly, but as a bounty hunter, Kat O'Banion, she would kill a wanted man with ease. She wouldn't rest until she nabs the man who killed her husband. Then her old friend and mentor, con artist Alexei Romanov, catches up with her. There's no way Kat will trust him or place her heart and the killer in his hands. But he has a frightening news. Her enemy has placed a bounty on her head. Kat and Alexei join forces to deliver the bounty and give the opportunity for revenge. Okay. Now, back to my author here. Elsie Cole. 4 stars. Cole's foray in the young adult market doesn't rely on vampires or werewolves, which is just one aspect of what makes this book so refreshingly different. The characters are realistic, believable teens, and the plot greatly entertaining. Eve Green's seemingly perfect life ends with the apocalypse. Suddenly she's on the run with Jack Devereaux, perhaps the only person that she didn't get along with at school, to find her grandmother. It's a treacherous journey from Louisiana to North Carolina, and the humans out to kill her are of the least of her worries. I like Kelsey Cole. I have a whole bunch of her books. Hey? You know, when I saw this book, I saw the cover of this book. I was like, how can this book be an inspirational book? It doesn't strike me as an inspirational book, but it is. D. Henderson, full disclosure. 4.5 stars. This book has everything a fan could want and will easily garner new fans. Just when you think that the last twist has been thrown, another one arrives. An intricately plotted mystery, and exciting action, superb characterization, and a faith-filled romance. Anne Silver is a bit of an enigma, a police officer and a Midwest homicide investigator. She travels all over helping out with homicide cases. Anne is an author, highly intelligent, loyal to her friends, and protective of her time with the Lord. FBI agent Paul Falcon is intrigued by Annie. When they come together in a case, he wants to get to know her better. We'll see. A Promise to Love, Serena B. Miller. Four and a half stars. This one of the most satisfying, heartwarming novels of the year. But sweet but never sappy, it easily manages to keep a time-worn marriage of convenience plot fresh from believable and intriguing plot each year. Abused by her employers in 1870 Michigan, Swedish hired girl Ingrid Larson impulsively volunteers to marry Joshua Hunter, a Civil War veteran and a father of 5, who's just been cleared of charges he murdered his unstable wife. His long-neglected children respond to Ingrid's affection like flowers turning to the sun. But it is Joshua, too wounded by the war and his first unhappy marriage, to love again. We'll have to find out. Good God. She is forever going off. The Sanctuary. Again. Is it a church? Four and a half stars. The Sanctuary may make you wonder if prison manufacture more criminals than they rehabilitate. The vivid descriptions and drama are gripping, and the alternating POVs add depth to the characters and story. Decker reminds us that we are all prisoners, though that may be our minds versus prison bars holding us captive. To protect the woman he loves, Renee Gilmore, Danny Henson is serving a 50-year prison sentence for a murder he did not commit. When Renee receives a threatening call and package, she realizes that someone knows their secret. If she does not comply with the demands, Danny will be killed. He is serving time at Basel, where the warden is determined to break Danny's vow of non-violence. Will the warden succeed? Why? Why would he want to do that? Is he an evil warden? A Promise to Love. Oh, we did that, right? Yes. And Twice Promised. Twice Promised. Maggie Brendan. Two mail order brides, one groom, and a few misunderstandings collide in the second Blue Willow Brides book. In 1888, Black Hawk, Colorado, Greta Wilson is determined to be happy as a mail-order bride to Jess Giffen. Then she learns that another woman, Cora Johnson, has answered the same ad. She is certain Jess didn't place the ad. Jess knows his brother Zach placed the ad and he's furious. Which one will he choose? Where the Trail Ends, Melanie Dobson. 4 stars. A more historical tale with a romantic subplot. This book will have readers feeling like they are part of the harrowing wagon train heading west on an exciting, amazing journey that they won't want to end. When tragedy strikes on their journey to Oregon County, 18-year-old Samantha promises her parents she will take care of her brother. With obstacles along the way, they are determined to reach Willamette Valley before winter. When their canoe overturns on the river, they accept the help of an Englishman, Alex Clark, to help them to Fort Vancouver. Setting into new surroundings is challenging. Flights of Fancy. Lori Alice Eakes. See if I can. Uh, 4.5 4 stars. Eakes takes a charming way of making novels come to life without being over the top. The Second Daughters of Bainbridge House story has romance, mystery, and suspense. In 1812 England, Cassandra Bainbridge wants to fly in one of her creations, a hot air balloon, more than she wants to marry Lord Whittaker. She knows once she is married, there'll be no way she'll be able to fulfill her dream. Oh, okay. How does she know the guy won't let her up in the balloon after they're married? Uh, no safe harbor. Elizabeth Ludwig, 4 stars. This romance, mystery, intrigue, suspense, and much more in Ludwig's first Edge of Freedom novel. The characters are strong both in mind and spirit. Fresh off the ship from Ireland, Kara Hamilton arrives in New York looking for her brother. All she has to locate him is a paper with a few words on it. Rourke Walsh is also looking for Kara's brother, but his motives remain hidden. Kara trusts Rourke to help her, but will her choices be her last ones? And on to sci-fi. Justin Crone, The 12. This looks more like a religious novel, doesn't it? Um, Crone's masterpiece saga continues in a brilliant past apocalyptic fashion, reuniting readers with his memorable characters from Book One as well as introducing new heroes and monsters. He paints the scenes of his towering good versus evil tale with a masterful, haunting narrative. It is now 7-9 AV, and Amy, Peter, and Alicia and the others are still fighting the battles but not winning the war. Against the virus, the genetically enhanced escape prisoners who will destroy all who get in their way. The band of survivors has learned from the mistakes of their predecessors, but still make enough of their own. They have learned of a new threat, a possible connection to disappearances in several Texas communities, and a new link to the virus. From different directions with parallel goals, they set out to investigate. It's a thick book. Michelle Stagra. Cast in Pearl, 4.5 stars. In the newest breathtaking book detailing the adventures of Private Kaylin Neva, Kaylin finds herself a bargaining chip in a high-stakes bid for control. For the first time in the series, the action moves away from the fiefs and Elantra into hazardous new territory. In exchange for information that will crack the Exeter scandal, Lord Nightshade has requested that Kayla join in the trek to the land of the West March, but ever since the unexpected arrival of Bella Duso, the only living female dragon, Kayla has been somewhat reluctantly sharing her cramped one-bedroom apartment. She also has been tending an unusual egg, which comes in handy when an arcane bomb is tossed in the apartment and the egg absorbs most of the deadly energy. Okay. And I thought Iron Skin. 4.5 stars. This astonishing book is evocative reimagining of Jane Eyre that concerns itself with beauty, love, and social upheaval. Jane Elliot is an unforgettable protagonist, and the setting is strangely familiar at the same time. Jane, a survivor of great war between humanity and the Fae, wears an iron mask to protect the world from her Fae curse. After her sister's engagement to a rather unpleasant upper-class twit, Jane accepts a position as governess at a remote estate caring for a child, also cursed, born during the Great War. Jane believes she can reach Dury and teach her to integrate into human society, but is less confident around her employer, the artist Edward Rocart. Jane finds him mysterious and intriguing as she uncovers the truth. That sounds more romantic than sci-fi, don't it? So, Iris Johansen, Sleep No More. I have it. I thought I had it. 4.5 stars. The next chapter in Eve Duncan's saga spins in a completely unexpected direction. As Eve learns she has a sibling, throughout the series, megastar Johansson has put her gutsy heroine through extraordinary adventures filled with emotional and physical challenges. This new adventure is not only terrifying, exciting thriller, but also opens up an intriguing new book. Having at last solved her daughter's murder, Eve and her lover Joe Quinn are quietly rebuilding their lives. An unexpected visit from Eve's mother Sandra provides a gut punch when Eve learns she has a half-sister named Beth Avery. For this last several decades, Beth has been kept heavily sedated in a mental institution. Why? Why? They disappeared. Rick Muffina. 4 stars. If your guilty pleasure is reading about ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances, take note. You'll love this. The story about a family vacation gone horribly wrong is told at a nearly frantic pace that just might turn you into a speed reader. At each cliffhanger, you'll decide to put off that urgent chore just a little longer. When Jeff and Sarah Griffin and their son are vacationing Manhattan, a fun day of sightseeing comes to an abrupt halt when Jeff goes into a shop for a quick purchase and comes out to find Sarah and Cole have disappeared. After looking for them in nearby stores without success, he realizes they didn't just wander off, they're really gone. Jeff gets help from the police, but he can't just sit around and wait. He searches for his family. That's an awful big city to search for your family. Um, Postcards from the Dead. If you haven't seen my cozy, check this chick out. She does a nice tea series. 4.5 stars. Childs delivers another top-notch scrapbook mystery set during the festivities of Mardi Gras, from gaslight streets and cobblestone walks to magnificent parades and formal garden parties. Child expertly conveys the eerie romantic character of New Orleans. Savvy Camilla and her sidekick Ava are perfect sleuths to search for clues while partying. A gigantic float fills the streets of French Quarter for the Loomis Crew parade during the Mardi Gras. A popular reporter, Kimber Breeze, is strangled while covering the festivities. Carmela Bertrand, the owner of the Memory Mine scrapbooking store, was next in line to be interviewed by Kimber. Having only seen a commotion, not the actual killer, Camilla must now track down the murderer. Are you coming back? Smoke. Wendy Corsi Strobe, Sleepwalker. Four stars. The second book of Strobe's newest trilogy is a suspense-filled ride that keeps the shocks coming. Although the reader is aware from the beginning of the story who the killer is, it doesn't remove any of the thrills or anticipation from the book. Allison McKenna is trying to adjust to life as a stay-at-home mother living in the suburbs. Once a city dweller, she has moved away from the city to escape the terrible happened that took place 10 years ago. 9/11 was hard for everybody, but especially Allison, who was targeted by a serial killer at the same time. While it was assumed that he was caught, murders replicating the Night Watcher are starting again. Uh, I think I missed one. Um, The Vanishing Point. Val McDermott. Four stars. This relatively straightforward tale of a child abduction case may seem like a departure from McDermott, who is best known for her grisly book and television series Wire in the Blood and twisty psychological suspense novels like Darker Domain. But her prestigious writing and intricate plotting make her latest an up all night nail biter. Stephanie Harker was the ghostwriter for reality television star Scarlett Higgins, eventually becoming her closest friend. When Scarlett is diagnosed with terminal cancer, she makes Stephanie the guardian of her 5-year-old son Jimmy. But when Jimmy is kidnapped, Stephanie has to figure out who is responsible. Um, all right, let's finish this. Iced Chiffon, Duffy Brown. 4 stars. This amusing, thoroughly entertaining mystery by Brown has perfect accomplices, plenty of suspect, and humorous situation. Reagan Summerside is flat broke after a messy divorce. Furthermore, her real estate broker husband left her for a hot blonde and took her Lexus with him. The only thing she has left is an old Victorian home in need of renovations. Deciding to sell some of her high-end clothes for her house leads to a new business venture. Things are looking up, but when she borrows an ex-Lexus to make a delivery, she finds the hot blonde dead in the trunk. Oops. Don't know. Brian Whitford. 4 stars. Whitford whose humorous mysteries have earned many fans turns more serious in this book. Everyone loves an anti-hero and former Naval Intelligence Officer Gil Underwood. Window screens repairman by the day, jewel thief by the night makes a fine example in this fast-paced thriller. When a routine break-in goes bad, Gil ends up with a dead girlfriend and $150 million in jewels he wasn't expecting. Soon he's on the run from what? Um, Soon he's on the run for Siberian, Chinese, Israel, and Cuban gangs, not to mention the FBI. We'll throw this in for the hell of it. Um, R.L. Stein. He usually writes kids' books. Stein, famous for his horror novels for children, dives into the adult world with his tale. Although the horror and shocks are more graphic here, the characters lack any real depth. Okay, so we'll skip it. Think of this novel as the movie Village of the Damned tossed in with a hurricane. Okay. Now, let's go back. I skipped one before. Oh, she's not here. She's in paranormal. Okay. And yet she's labeled. All right, we'll get to her then. Um, uh, Don't Cry for Me. Sharon Sala. 4.5 stars. I soldier coming home to the real world, suffering from PTSD, looking for love but almost afraid to accept its offer, makes this tender, tough, and realistic look at what life offers to homeward bound warriors. Badly wounded in active duty in Afghanistan, Mara Conrad has come to Rebel Ridge to heal at the behest of Quinn Walker. With no family, few friends, and no place to call home, Maria is grateful to Quinn, her ex-lover and soldier in arms, trying to find her way back to the real world. Mariah also has to deal with her feelings for Quinn and his large and loving family, but she's having flashbacks hearing helicopter noises in the night. PSD. Rev It Up, the motorcycle series. That's what I call. 4 stars. With the seductive scenes and edge of your seat action, the third installment in the Black Knights series takes readers yet on another wild and exciting tale. Through gritty street of Chicago, Jake is surfer dude turned sexy seal whose character leaps off the page. Readers will appreciate his patience and determination when it comes to winning Michelle back. The latest person Michelle Carter ever expected, the last person Michelle Carter ever expected to see again was Jake the Snake Summers. When he slithered out of town 4 years ago, she forced herself to move on. But now that he's back, Michelle's world is once again turned upside down. See what happens there. No, I just Run the Risk, Laurie Foster. Foster turns up the sizzle in her series launch with another Cops on the Edge story, sure to please fans. This trademark Foster, with sexy cops undercover, beautiful dames in disguise, and nasty bad guys trying to abduct girls. Her heroes always have an underlining decency and respect for women. For 2 years, Detective Logan Risk has been trying to nail the man who killed his best friend. Working undercover, he has located the sister of the only witness and is determined to do whatever it takes to get the brother. She seems like a mousy, withdrawn woman, but for shy, plain Jane, Pepper Yates a sure excuse a strong attraction, and her kisses are killer. Let's see. The Runaway Princess. 4.5 stars. Many women as little girls dream of being swept off their feet by Prince Charming. This novel takes that concept a step further by describing in grave detail what steps a woman must endure to become a perfect princess. Gardener Amy Wilde has never had much luck with the opposite sex, and due to family scandals, she purposely keeps a low profile. She But when she meets Leo Wolfsburg, a man she can easily talk to, she is excited about the prospect of starting a relationship. Her fear surfaces when she finds out that Leo is royal blood and his grandfather is Prince Nirvana, and everything changes. Oh, Christina Sky, The Accidental Bride. 4.5 stars. The healing power of knitting is wrapped up around Sky's newest summer island book like a snuggly blanket. There's genuine warmth and caring in this story. Talented and driven chef Jilly O'Hare is on the verge of another expansion of her burgeoning little empire when her heart decides to upend her plans. Suffering a heart attack at 26-7 is extremely scary, especially as tests detect she has a congenital defect. A full stream ahead is the only speed Jilly knows. Her close friend Grace, Carol, and Olivia plan an intervention and send Jilly off to a spot in Wyoming where local Walker Hale and his dog Winslow are still recovering from their injuries received in Afghanistan. Will we find romance? Um, a cowboy under my Christmas tree. 4 stars. In what has become a delightfully annual tradition, Daly creates a Christmas romance, a moving story that progresses at an even pace. The hero and heroine are refreshingly morally sound individuals. Colorado rancher Sam Bennett is in New York to deliver a Christmas tree and pick up some extra money doing Christmas installation. Nicole Young is a window display designer. Taking a job with Nicole brings the two into close contact, and though she insists they are just friends, their feelings for one another are moving more than just friends. Uh, Last Chance Christmas. Oh, wait a minute, this is Last Chance Bride. What is. They just say Last Chance Christmas. There we go. Last Chance Christmas. Hope Ramsey. 4 stars. Ramsey's romance packs just enough heat in the holiday inspired story with lead characters who induce both belly laughs and smiles. Larkin Chake has come to Last Chance, South Carolina to fulfill her father's last wish of spreading his ashes here, but the residents have long memories of her dad's short visit and the deadly mystery surrounding it. Lark doesn't need more trouble. She's fighting her own demons, not to mention feelings for a certain cop are stirring. Stone Reed's knees lock like a hole in his head. He's still recovering from the death of his wife, and he has a hard time taking care of his daughters and his family while being the top cop in town. But he can't deny his attraction to Lark. We'll see what happens there. Shelia Roberts, Better Than Chocolate. 4 stars. Strong and determined woman wrapped up in sinful chocolate is the recipe for Robert's inspiring life in Icicle Falls series starter. It's exciting to see her female characters evolve from page to page and the parallel lives of one woman learning to stand on her own and another learning to lean on others for support. Samantha Sterling has just buried her stepfather Waldo, but all she can think about is the fate of her family's business, Sweet Dreams Chocolate Company. The company is standing on its last legs, but Samantha is determined to save it. Her big idea, with the help of her sisters, is to throw a chocolate festival that gets all the neighborhood businesses involved. Unknowns to her, the new bank manager, Blank Princeton, though in charge of her loan, secretly wants her to succeed and is working his own magic to keep her dream alive. See what happens there. Sweet Laurel Falls. That's right. Sweet Laurel Falls. 4 stars. Thane takes readers back to Hope's Crossing, where life's burdens are easier to bear because neighbors care. Thane presents a heartfelt tale of sorrow, redemption, and new beginnings that will touch readers. Mara McKnight Parker cannot escape the past, still recovering from the loss of one daughter in a senseless accident. She's now being thrown for a loop by the reappearance of her oldest daughter, Sage, with Mora's first love and the girl's father in tow. Jackson Lang never knew that when he fled Hope's Crossing nearly 2 decades before, he left Mora pregnant, but he never forgot the girl he left behind. Can he make amends? We shall see. Katie Lane, hung for the holidays. Four and a half stars. Clap hands for the most riotous family to hail from Colorado, Snowy Chimes. The McPhersons are battling, brawling, loving family of upwardly mobile Scots with a successful business and a tight family ties. But when the only girl of the clan falls in love with the company's biggest competition, is going to take a lot of love and laughter. Always putting business first has landed Cassie McPherson at the top of her family's construction company, but without a date for the Christmas party, so she hires an escort. When a hunky hunk with whiskey-colored eyes shows up, Cassie thinks she's won the lottery, but of course she doesn't know that he's the enemy. So we did all of those. First, I want to go back. Let's change this. I want to go back. I missed a couple. This looks so cute that I wanted to talk about it. Elvis and the Blue Christmas Corpse. Between the most eccentric family this side of the Mason distant line, a former superstar in a dog suit, a cast of oddball suspects, and a charming romance and a catalog of tasty treats in this back of the book, it's hard to say what's the best of Webb's newest entry. Callie Valentine Jones is the spunkiest dog-loving hairdresser to sleuth in a long time. At her beloved Uncle Charles' request, Callie dresses up as an elf to help him play Santa at the local charity event, with Elvis in his Santa Paws outfit by her side. But when someone tries to turn turning Charlie into a fry daddy. The day goes from jolly to grim. Why would anyone want to hurt her uncle or kill the nice guy who owned the hardware store? There are many suspects, and Callie and her cousin Lovey and Elvis wade in to find out who done it. It's so cute. And this one is just adorable too. Dial C for Chihuahua. Um, Waverly Curtis, 4 stars. Writing duo Curtis has created a humorous but deadly serious mystery. Pepe is a delight and more intelligent than most humans in the book. When fledgling PI Jerry Sullivan adopts a Chihuahua from the pound, she's dumbfounded when he begins to speak to her in Spanish. Recently hired to gather information on a missing husband, she goes to his residence only to find his body. Okay. Now, I think I've got to see where that book is. It's driving me crazy. I love this magazine. I just do. So why do I have this? She's not here. Paranormal urban fantasy. She's got a sci-fi label on her. She's just weird. Okay. So this. If you haven't seen my video for her, please go check it out. And now that I recently had a haul of about 20 of her books, I want to go back and redo that video. But I don't know if people watch it a second time, and the first, most of it will be the same. I might redo the ending though, but maybe I'll just do an extra thing. But I just got about 20 of her Game and Shadows books that I was missing. But this is Carpathian Dark Storm. If you haven't seen my freehand video, please go check that out. I do all the Carpathians that I had at the time, and apparently I was missing about 6 or 7, and I've since got those too. And then I did the games and the leopards and the walkers, the whole bunch of them. So the Carpathian world just got richer with the introduction of an intrepid new heroine. Oh, good God, she always goes off. Okay. So Dark Storm. Oh, my hair is so bad today. The Carpathian world just got richer with the introduction of an intrepid new heroine. Riley's journey into the world of supernatural is sudden and horrific, but her inner strength helps her adapt. It's also wonderful that Gary and Jabal return as significant players. Great battles, terrifying evil, and passion abound in this exceptional tale. Riley Parker has made a pilgrimage with her mother to a volcano, intent on performing an ancient ritual handed down from mother to daughter. If they don't, a hideous evil will be unleashed. Deep inside the volcano, 2 beings have been trapped for centuries, the vampire Macho and his dogged pursuer, the Carpathian Dax. Their release signals the recommencement of an epic war between good and evil. Mark of a Witch. Maggie Shane. In her first novel of her newest series, The Fantastic Shane has hit once again. She meticulously built an intriguing plot with a strong characters in a form of ancient witches reborn to fulfill their destiny. Readers will savor this superb story from start to finish. Indira Simon's stunningly real dreams are beginning to attack her. When one nightmare has When one nightmare has her waking with welts on her arms, she knows it's time to get help. A lapsed Wiccan Indira contacts her local high priestess, but help comes from a more unusual source. Father Thomas has petitioned the court to leave the priesthood when the legend he heard all his life of three witches returning to help their master shows signs of beginning to reel. He believes Indira is one of the witches, and Indira dreams grow more dangerous and love sparks between these two. It will take a major miracle for them to survive. Yes, ma'am. I just saw this. Seduction shift. ACR, sir. Sorry. Um, As Arthur continues to build the Shadow Shifters world, the characters introduce are multidimensional and magnetic. Aerie is Nick's equal in every way. She is determined to fight to retain her independence and pursue her dream of becoming a doctor. His need to protect her is their main source of conflict and keeps their fire burning against the backdrop of political jockeying. In the U.S., faction leaders are continuing to organize while dealing with threats from rogue shifters. Led by Sabar, after 16 years apart, Ari and her Jaguar love Nick are reunited. When Sabar kidnaps her for her skills as a healer and her knowledge of herbs and plants, he intends to use his knowledge to boost the effects of the drug she sells, to expand his empire and eventually become the leader of stateside shifters. Will Nick rescue her in time? Um, Savage the Hunter. Cherry Spear. Harry Spear, Savage the Hunter. This well paranormal romance featuring a couple that sizzles right off the page is perfect for relaxing afternoon read. The Amazon jungle holds many dangers, as Kathy McKnight knows after her mission to bring down a drug cartel goes horribly wrong, leaving her the only survivor on her team. Determined to find the mysterious man who saved her, she returns to the jungle years later, only to find it holds more secrets than she ever imagined. Werewolf in Denver. 4 stars. Creative and funny. Thompson's light read is lovely escapism. If you're a fan of Fury, this series that will definitely enjoy. Not only are their characters well thought out and easy to love, the setting is so well written it's like you're taking a vacation. Kate Stillman is all about honor her werewolf heritage. She started a group about it, blogs about it, and now agreed to a public debate. Taking on Duncan McDowell on the subject of werewolf segregation should be easy, but the sexy werewolf founder of an opposing organization is not the pushover she was hoping for. Kate has met her match, and now she is even more determined to convince him to see things on her view. Yes, ma'am. All right, let's put this back. Yes, ma'am. All right. Um, the undead in my bed. If you haven't read the Queen Betsy or haven't seen some of my Queen stuff, Check out Katie McAllister and her Queen stuff, the Betsy Queen series, especially if you're into shoes. And if you read her vampire series, you gotta let all your vampire stuff go and just let it go. Let all that vampire stuff go and take her series with a queen drop of salt and just laugh. Just be ready to laugh. Just let it, if you can let it go, if you can let your vampire stuff go, then it's good. If you can, this chick that becomes queen of the vampires and is in love with shoes. And if you haven't, you got to listen to the audiobooks where the narrator, the Louboutin shoes, oh, the shoes. She does a good job. They're just, the audiobooks make it. The Undead in My Bed, Katie McAllister, Molly Hopper, and Jessica Sims. Naked guy on the cover. Hey, that's the first naked guy on the cover of this whole magazine. That's unusual. Usually, last magazine we had several naked guys on the cover. With humor, plenty of action, and captivating characters, as well as some hot sex, readers will enjoy the numerous vampire shapeshifters ghosts. In The Shades of Grey by McAllister, Noelle is a guardian. She knows his also vampire Grayson Sarek's beloved. Now, if she can only get him to accept all we're dealing with ghosts, demons, and mortals. Harper's undead sublet sees Chief Tablin Maitland forced to take a leave of absence from a job. She finds her rental in a small half-moon hollow occupied by vampire Sam Clemson. I don't remember if I included this in my vampire anthology. If then, I don't remember. Sandy! I don't know. She's crying. Does your cat do that? Meow. Meow. What? Meow. What? Meow. You get up to go look and they're just sitting there looking at you. I did a thing on that. Sim Shifter Summers gave up her human love Michael 4 years ago, but when her father threatened his life, now he's back, but not for long. Yes, ma'am. What? What? What are you doing? Mm. We will be doing her books later this year. I keep saying that. Sherilyn Kenyon and Diana Love. These combo books didn't get good reviews. Third in the Bellador series, this novel from Kenyon and Love is full of numerous species, gods, trolls, and warriors, making it difficult to point of entry for readers unfamiliar with the previous books. Evel has been fighting with Belladors to save humankind from the predation of non-humans for some time now, but it doesn't seem to have lessened the prejudice against her kind. Her life is complicated further by her friend Isaac and hot skin worker Storm. Evel doesn't know much about relationships of any kind and has trouble handling emotions. In a race against time, she must save the queen. So see what happens. These didn't do very well. I know that. I know they didn't do very well. 13, Kelly Armstrong. 4.5 stars. Without question, the Otherworld series has been one of the consistently compelling and downright terrific urban fantasy series available and has catapulted superbly talented Armstrong into the top of the genre. When her half-brother Bryce is injected with mysterious concoction developed by the supernatural liberation movement, which Savannah Levine and her friends suspected this is the only beginning in a war that will not only split the demon world but also the angelic. To stop supernatural war from being exposed, it will take the all the efforts of not only Savannah, but Elena, Clay, Paige, Lucas, Jeremy, Jane, Evie, Chris, Hope, and all the rest of them to figure out. See what happens. Um, Something witchy this way comes. And I was gonna bring the whole series out, but um something witchy this way comes. Her stuff is always cute. 4.5 stars. Questions are raised and battles are fought in the fifth installment of the Jolie Wilkins series. Jolie is coming into her own as Queen of the Underworld and it makes for a more exciting, involving story. Mallory has developed her character a little more with every book, and now Jolie really shines. Jolie Wilkins is more than mere fortune teller she thought she was. She is queen of the underworld and has more magic than she knew possible. Her kingdom is threatened by the lurkers, a powerful breed of half-humans determined to overthrow the underworld. But Jolie's not about to let that happen. She's finally together with her soulmate Rand, who is everything she ever dreamed of. Honorable, devastating, handsomely, and completely devoted to her. Why can't she seem to get the dangerous vampire out of her mind? And this other book, I was going to dig out the whole series because I do have the whole series. And I decided these videos run long enough as it is by the time I get here. But I have all of these books. I'm sitting there going, Mortal this, Mortal Danger, Mortal this, Mortal that, Mortal this. Not Mortal Ties. So I put it on my want list on the D. Louise book series on Amazon. That list has grown to over 200 books. Because I'm discovering that I'm missing quite a few books in this series I own. Mortal Ties, Eileen Wilkes. Unexpectedly, family ties are used as leverage in the next wave of the war between the forces of the old one. Over the course of the amazing series, Wilkes has advanced her themes of family sacrifice and true meaning of leadership. After a daring theft at Nikolai clan home where they live sets off major alarm bells for FBI agent Lily Yule and her fiancé Rule Turner. I have this whole series. With unhinged Zegelot Robert Frere still on the list, Lily Rule and Cullen Seaborn are very concerned when a prototype of magical device Cullen has been working on is stolen. But is the thief someone closer to home? For possible betrayal with the clan alliances is putting pressure on Rule in his dual roles as Rio of the Leadoff and Lou of the Nikolai. An attempt to grab Lily's sister Beth is another sign that an elaborate plan may be in motion. Dark Currents, Jacqueline Curry. This is a very promising start for a new series. Daisy Johansson, the protagonist, is neither overpowered nor an orphan. She tries to think before she acts and has a strong sense of ethics. Pem Mish has diverse population of human and otherworldly residents, much to the dismay of the surrounding communities. Daisy, half human and half demon, is the liaison between the local police department and hell, the recluse Norse god in charge of the underworld. Daisy is usually nothing more than a glorified file clerk, but when a young man from prominent family turns up dead, possibly at the hands of another worldly assailant, she gets involved in the investigation. Short stories. Into the Woods. Kim Harrison. We will do Rachel soon. We will definitely do Rachel soon. Fans of Hollow series will appreciate the hefty companion tome to her universe. There are both pros and cons. The pro is that all of Harrison's short Hollow fiction to date has been collected in one volume. The con is that there is only one new Hollows in the bunch. However, Harrison provides the short notes before each story, giving a bit of insight along the way. 9 stories are collected in this volume, giving readers more insight into the lives of Trent, Jenks, Ivy, Mira, Kristen, Suri, and more. Undead in the Garden of Good and Evil, Dirty Magic, The Bridges of Eden Park, Two Ghosts of Sister Rachel, The Bespelled, The Levy Line Drifter, and the new Howlers entry $1 Million Baby. See what happens there. Personal Demon, Susan Sizemore. Sizemore makes a welcome return to her Laws of Blood series with a new entry featuring a vampire enforcer confronting the ways that handle the things in Chicago. Once my tree's down, I'll be able to get to these books again. But I was sitting there going, I have like 5 or 6 law books, but I don't have. Um, Ivy Bailey is both part demon and vampire watcher. She keeps an eye on vampires who threaten to break the rules set up by Chicago's vampire enforcer Crystal Bell. Is an English vampire from the 1880s, discerned by how vampire business is handled in Chicago. He finds Ivy quite intriguing, but mysterious attacks on witches rise the stakes as demons come under potential scrutiny. And I think that's it. We've got a couple of Harlequins that we'll do real quick. There's a couple of Exoticas too. I thought this was right. Second Chance Austin. 4.5 stars. Austin Wright has hit rock bottom after waking up from another night of drinking with blanks in his memory. He's decided to stop before it gets worse. The only problem is it already appears to be too late when Sheriff Diane Hunter saunters into a store to ask him about stolen merchandise. Diana believes she is over Austin and the short-lived romance they had in high school, but the investigation puts her in constant contact with him and brings back all those feelings. Justice a Cardwell rant. 4.5 stars. B.J. Daniels, former bad boy cowboy Jordan Cardwell, has returned to the canyon to investigate the supposed suicide of his best friend, which throws him into a path of Deputy Marshal Liz Turner. Liz isn't sure why Jordan has come home, but she's hoping for the sake of the Cardwell family that he's not the murderer they're looking for. Okay. Um, Michelle Huff, Forever Werewolf. When Tristan Hawks journeys to Hot Alps region of France to deliver a package on behalf of his father, he meets Lexi Alexis Connor, pack principal Edmund Connor's daughter. Trist is immediately captivated by her strength and beauty. Also attracted to Trist, Lexi holds back because she knows her father will never approve of their getting involved with a wolf vampire hybrid. When Trist digs out the castle after an avalanche and then helps figure out who has poisoned the principal, Edmund Connor's views just might undergo a change. And The Princess Wolf by Karen Meaden. Naked guy on the cover. Just when we thought we got the review without a naked guy on the cover. Um, When Dr. Braden Stribe comes to Lisco to examine Princess Alyssa in order to discover why she can go months without shifting and remain sane, something no other shifter can do, he also helps her save from extremist group that sees her ability to remain human all the time as a threat. Okay. And Texas Wild. Brenda Jackson. Dr. Megan Moreland hires Rico Claiborne to track down more members of her family that are rumored to be living in Texas. While Rico is glad to do the job, he isn't happy when Megan decides to tag along. The sparks between them are hot enough to burn the house down, and Rico suspects Megan is the woman who could put an end to his wandering ways. Think no matter what, Janice K. Johnson. Hmm. That's super. No matter what, when high school vice principal Molly Callahan meets student Trevor Ward's father, Richard, she's initially accusatory over his part in his son's fighting and bad attitude in school, especially since Trevor is dating her daughter Caitlin. But when she learns he's only just gotten custody of Trevor after the boy had problems with living with his mother, she's determined to help him with the teen until Trevor gets Caitlin pregnant. Is your necklace in the way? Okay. Um, Cindy D's Flash of Death. Straight-laced and controlled forensic accountant Chloe Jordan has a brush with death when her SUV almost mows her down. She's saved when she's pulled out of the way by handsome operative Trent Hollings. Chloe is knocked off her feet, and not just literally. Only hours after he saves her, Trent seduces her. Chloe's life is in danger, and Trent, along with the rest of his Code X team of operatives, tries to figure out who is targeting Chloe. Once Upon a Christmas, Pamela Tracy. Damn it, these books are not in order. Whoever did this one is magazine picture order is out of it. They put them on the wrong pages. Uh, I just had it. No, I lost it again. Once Upon a Christmas. Young Caleb McCready and Cassidy Tate are not strangers to the principal's office. Both are handful for their single parents, Jared McCready and Maggie Tate. Jared is struggling with Caleb's behavior, and Maggie offers her assistance as Cassidy has ADD. Well, there's a reason. Let's go into erotica for a couple of seconds. Um, Megan Hart, The Space Between Us. 4 stars. Hart wields her pen like a scalpel as she meticulously dissects the heart of a menage a trois. Strong characters and smooth yet forceful writing captures your attention and holds you hostage. Barista Tessa Motlin is flattered and intrigued by the single attention of a coffee shop regular. Laid back and sexually open, Tesla is swept away by Meredith's sparkling charm, and she's willing to do almost anything to keep that charm focused on her. When Meredith proposes a threesome involving her husband Charlie, Tesla is wary but willing. Okay. Heat. I would have preferred. Oh, I have that one. I think I have that one. Hold on a second. Let me look. So I got up to get this. It's not the right one, but we'll do it in a couple of months. But since we're talking about her, I don't think there's a. Most of her covers look like this. So Lorelei James, Cowboy Casanova, 4 stars. Who sheds a tear or two at the end of an erotic romance? I do. Call me a softie, but this next installment of Rough Rider series proves once again why James is one of the best in the business. BDSM plays a major role. Divorcee Ansley Hamilton lands the job of bank president in a small town of Sundance, Wyoming. Battling the everyday doldrums, she decides to take a walk on the wild side and visit a sex club, posing as a dom. Simple rancher Bennett Kay is instantly drawn to her, but is convinced she's a sub. Once they cross paths outside the Rawhide Club, Ben offers to be Ainsley's teacher for 1 month to awaken her to her submissive side. And our final one, Lauren Dane. Four stars. This short story offers closure for laid bare and emotional side not to be taken lightly. The love between the three are palpable and not forced. There are multiple menage a trois scenes. Todd, Ben, and Erin are settled and content with the life they share with their son. Deciding to surprise Erin with an exotic island vacation, Todd and Ben also find they must continue to deal with the tragedies of Erin's past. Unleashed, Crystal Jordan. Naked guy on the cover. The characters in these stories meld together. It's a little like a cliffhanger on every page. This is a unique bunch of animals living together in a new world. In Hunting Temptation, Earth has been torn apart by biological warfare. Karen Vaughan is a spook who has decided to come in the cold. While visiting a cousin, he meets his mate, G. Craven, as PI in Chicago. Gwaylon North has all types of businesses, including a high-end brothel on the banks of Chicago River. Oh, look, there's a question and answer for Lauren Dane. Check that out. All right. We have come to the end of Flashback Monday. I think I've gotten everything. Every week I find something I've missed afterwards. So if you could please hit the like and subscribe and let me know I did a good job, I'd appreciate it. Don't forget, If Thens on Fridays and Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Fridays and my daily book reviews. I'm reading as fast as I can. Have a good one.